Well, welcome to the New Orleans Saints pregame report brought to you by Sanderson Farms. I'm John DeShazier. We are at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, where for the first time since August 29th, 2019, the New Orleans Saints will play a preseason game. Now, they'll be doing so against the Baltimore Ravens, the kings of preseason. The Ravens have won 17 straight, but that's of no interest to us right now because the Saints have a lot of intrigue heading into this preseason as well as the regular season. And first of all, it begins at quarterback. The Saints will enter a season without Drew Brees as the starting quarterback for the first time since 2006. So a lot rides on these preseason games. And for that, we go to Jameis, Winston, and Taysom Hill, the two combatants for the quarterback position. Now, Taysom Hill started 4 games for the Saints last year. He went 3-1 in those games and performed pretty well for the most part. However, he's a little bit inexperienced in terms of starts because Jameis Winston, since 2015, when he was the #1 overall pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has started 70 NFL games, 70. So he has a lot more experience. But Taysom Hill is beloved by his teammates. He played several positions before he got the opportunity to play quarterback last season. So we'll see how that battle shakes out. Right now, I would say it's head-to-head. Both of those guys are pretty much even, but we'll see how it goes as the preseason progresses because these games will carry a lot of value in terms of who starts beginning the 2021 season. From there, we move to receiver because there's also intrigue there. #1 receiver, Michael Thomas, is out. He had ankle surgery in June. He'll be out for the beginning of the regular season. And right now, Tre'Quan Smith, who would have ascended to that #1 position, he's out also with an injury. That leaves Marquez Callaway, an undrafted rookie last year, caught 21 passes for 219 yards. He is the heir apparent for the #1 receiver spot. Does he have what it takes for that position? Again, he has to round into that position. Is he ready to take on opposing team's #1 cornerback? Can he handle that duty? We'll find out a lot about that in this preseason also. He's been looking fantastic in training camp. Can he continue to look fantastic here throughout the preseason? From there, we flip to the defense. Along the defensive line specifically, we start there at defensive end and defensive tackle, where you have new additions. Peyton Turner, you have Malcolm Roach, you have Christian Ringo. Now, Peyton Turner is a defensive end, and the Saints probably could use a little bit of help there. They drafted him in the first round after Trey Hendrickson was lost in free agency. So hopefully he can help out there, but he doesn't have to be the #1 option there because Marcus Davenport remains on the roster, as well as Carl Granderson. So he can ease into his role, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs here in this preseason. As far as Roach and Ringo, well, the Saints have a lot of depth issues at defensive tackle. David Onyemata will be suspended for the first 6 regular season games. Also, Sheldon Rankins and Malcolm Brown departed during the offseason. So, can Roach fill some of those snaps? Because those are huge shoes to fill. Talking about 3 starters who will not be playing for the Saints in the immediate future. Now, of course, Onyemata will return for Game 7, but he's out for the first 6. So can the young guys step into those roles and be counted on to perform at a high level? From there, we move to linebacker. We know the commodity there. That's All-Pro Demario Davis in the middle. But he's going to have some help. And he's going to have some help before Quan Alexander is able to get back on the field full speed. Quan Alexander is back on the roster. He is back in the fold. He is listed as a starter. He will be playing as soon as possible. But who fills in until then? Well, we've got Cayden Ellis to step into that, as well as Andrew Dowell. Now, Cayden Ellis was a 7th-round pick in 2019. Interesting player, played a lot of defensive end in college, but the Saints transitioned him to linebacker, and they believe he can handle those duties. He also has looked good in training camp. Andrew Dowell, though, perhaps has been the defensive star in training camp. He's been a guy who's been around the football. He's stripped it out. He's been able to cause turnovers, and that's huge for this defense. That's one of the mantras they have going into this season, and it's something that they want to improve upon, especially as the offense adjusts to a new quarterback. So can Andrew Dowell make an impact not just on defense, but also on special teams, because he'll probably have to play some there. Now let's move back a little bit farther on defense and go to the secondary, because cornerback issues. Jack Rabbit Jenkins was released in the offseason, and Patrick Robinson retired just recently. So that leaves Ken Crawley and the rookie Paulson Adebo to snap up a lot of those snaps. Can they handle the job? Ken Crawley looked fantastic in 2017 when he started the majority of those games for a playoff team. His play has been uneven since then, but he has looked fantastic in training camp. We say that a lot about players, we say that about a lot of players, but he has looked fantastic in training camp. So can he continue that ascension? Paulson Adebo has probably been the most impressive rookie on this roster because he's been available and he's been fantastic in coverage, whether it's been in team drills or individual. So Paulson Adebo looks like he has the stuff that it takes to play cornerback. He's a third-round draft pick. The Saints like him because he's long, he's athletic, he has great cover skills, great ball skills. Can those translate to the game in the preseason? We'll see that also. And finally, we move to kicker. Brett Maher is kicking for the Saints so far in the preseason. Now, if Brett Maher is on this team in the regular season, that means that Will Lutz, his injury and his surgery is taking a little bit longer than we think. But we know that as soon as Will Lutz is able, he's going to retake that position. That means Brett Maher essentially is auditioning for the entire NFL. He's got 31 other teams that will be looking at the tape. So if he's impressive for the Saints, someone might give him an opportunity, especially if things get a bit shaky for them at kicker as the season goes along. Those are some of the storylines to keep up with here during this preseason game. We'll continue to give you more on Twitter as well as during our post-game show. I'm John DeShazier from M&T Bank Stadium. Welcome to the Saints pregame show. Enjoy the show, folks.